All right, aloha team, this is Brendan and you're listening to the audio of Inside of Paradigm Shift London discussion meeting. So let's all say hello with our noises. Say hello, go woo!
Hello.
Team Subush! This is kind of a test run, so if you guys are tuned into this, please feel free to leave your comments and we're going to kind of roll through the discussion. And there's no video because of the bandwidth, and if it was video, then it would eat up the bandwidth and it wouldn't work. So yeah, we're going to see whether or not this works, and hopefully it will record okay, and we'll find out afterwards. So where did we leave off, guys? Of course, I'll just say, first of all, that Paradigm Shift communities are something that anybody can start anywhere where you are, so check out ParadigmShiftCentral.com for more info. So in terms of the discussion, we were kind of talking about the idea of like, why is it that certain, like, what stops us from doing certain things, right? Like, that was kind of the idea that we'll like have an intention to do something, and then something in our mind will like change our story as to like why we shouldn't or can't, or I guess it's part of overcoming our fears and stuff. So Bianca, you wanted to say something next, right?
Yeah.
All right. Okay. So pretend that this thing isn't here, and if it works, it works. If it doesn't, it doesn't.
Be
so.
Serendipitous?
Yes.
Yes, our superhero name.
My superhero name. So, Bright, who is also here beside me, had mentioned Goddess Euphoria had said while she was beside me that her awesome son, The Mask, had done a game basically that had some magnets in it, and he chose certain words, and it basically, he put together a sentence that was explaining something that I just had like a huge moment about, because it explained how basically we ask the question of what if all the time in our lives, but then we're still okay with living comfortably, you know, and we will forever ask that question if we don't continue to follow what it actually means to us, like follow our dreams of what if.
Right.
And I thought that was very interesting, and it gave it, like, it just surprised me that it was that had come from your son, which is, what is he, 5?
Not even yet.
Maybe 4 years old, which is awesome.
It was, yeah, the sentence he put was, we wonder, good possibility, enjoy, comfort.
We wonder, good possibility, enjoy comfort. That's awesome. I love that.
Yeah. Even I'll just say real quick, like when you were first saying that, the idea of like the first sentence and then the second part, enjoy comfort, in my mind, like I know the word is enjoy, E-N-J-O-Y, but I was seeing it as enjoy, like I enjoy, and then so it's like enjoy, comma, comfort or something like that. So it's like just the word enjoy suddenly like had a little paradigm shift for me, where it's like literally, you know, it's just like, oh yeah, are you enjoying yourself? But to enjoy something is literally to like, it's more so referring to that action of like stepping in. You're like putting yourself in there with intention. So I mean that's just kind of like something I wanted to say on that. Orion, you want the lightsaber? Okay. But yeah, okay, so
like, if
anybody else has anything to say, going back to the topic of what do you guys, what are some things, maybe if anybody wants to share, some things that you guys, like as examples, that you guys have like wanted to do, but then maybe fear has held you back, but then also like how that made you feel afterwards. Because I know from my own experience, even recently being in California, I'm curious as to like what their relationship is with that feeling when like something will happen and then afterwards you're like, oh, like I wish I did this differently, or I wish I could have done that differently, or something like that.
Or why didn't I
do that at the time, right?
Yeah.
Why? Well, it was weird because like sometimes it's almost as if there's like a second like aspect to ourselves that in retrospect we look back and we're just like, you know, like now it seems so obvious as to what I could have done, but why didn't I do that? And to me, and I'll just say this real quick and I'll pass it to Tom, it seems to be that sometimes, you know, we get not just what we want, but what we need. And so sometimes like we are almost like this, you know, like there's like our self here in the physical, and then there's like our higher self, and that is like kind of like this daemon, if you use that term, and it's kind of controlling where we go. And then like sometimes it's almost as if like we're conscious, but we're not like 100% in control, even though we still do have free will. And within that sort of paradox, it allows like the universe to make sure that we like get the lessons that we need, opposed to just like our preference as to what we need. But anyways, Tom, go ahead.
Yeah,
Man, like the word that keeps coming to my mind is comfort. I think there's nothing wrong with comfort, but when you live in a culture where comfort's everywhere, like comfort food, the temperature in your room is like comfortable to like a setting so you stay warm all the time.
Even
It's like
your shower.
or in the
In the
shower.
shower, you can control the temperature.
Yeah, it's too cold. I want it warmer, right? But it's like, when do we step like into like the opposite of that, like discomfort, into the cold, into the even pain in a way, right? Like even like going to the gym, for example, there is a level of discomfort that you have to like face, right? But without that discomfort, you won't grow. It's like your body won't grow. You won't have a response. So like, I think we really just get in our own way. And like the thing that gets in our way is ourselves. Like it's nothing else but us. You know, we know what we want, but we won't put ourselves out there, or we're afraid to for some reason. But I think if we can overcome that and actually like move through that, we'd be able to move through that discomfort and actually move into a more like I guess more awakened or conscious self. Because you feel very different when you move through the other side. If you never experienced it, it's like, you really won't know until you actually do it. So if you're afraid to do something, just do it.
You know, like how you mentioned, like we get stuck in our own comfort zones.
Yeah.
Like we create like, you know, this cozy surrounding, you know, we get kind of stuck in it.
Try and talk a little bit louder.
Because I feel like we're bounded by what we know, right?
Mm-hmm.
We're bounded by what we can see, kind of thing. We're afraid of the unknown, right? And that's where like the third word comes in, I think, possibilities, right? Like once you realize that, like there are all these possibilities waiting to be manifested.
Oh yeah.
Right? And
yeah.
when we're in our comfort zone, we are just preventing those possibilities from being manifested because
Yeah.
we are not putting our attention or, you know,
Do you want me to give you some on the plate?
our energy towards them getting shit done.
Yeah, man, getting shit done. I love it. Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah. Sometimes I feel kind of like going back to the idea of
That's good,
just
yeah.
like, you know, having, you know, you can refer to them as regrets or not, but I feel as if you like become more conscious, our relationship with regrets becomes different, you know, because I feel like we begin to intentionally show up more, and then we begin to like, we're able to forgive ourselves more. Like, I mean, like, even just for myself, like, being at the festival in California, in retrospect, there's stuff where, like, with my filming, I was like, oh, like, I wish I could have done this better or something like that. But I'm just like, no, because, like, at the moment, I knew I was doing the best that I could at that time, sort of thing. But then what I feel is that, like, when we sort of have these, like, in retrospect, quote-unquote, regrets, sometimes the reason for that is because they help us lock into what it is that we need to do for a future event that hasn't come yet. So like, because we had that past event and our relationship with it was like, oh, I wish I could have done this differently, that is gonna make sure that the next time something similar happens, we're gonna be like, oh, like this one's not gonna slip past me this time. And if we didn't have that like quote unquote mistake the first time, then maybe we wouldn't have been prepared for that next opportunity. So like, everything is kind of preparing us for that next unseen events.
That's awesome.
Could be.
That hits a string on so many levels. Like, I would say definitely, in my life at least, I can honestly say I have not one regret. And I mean, I could have hundreds of regrets, but I have none. I have no regrets. I have no like deceitful feelings towards anyone in my life, no matter what they've done or what I've done. And I think it's just because of the way that I've kind of looked at every situation. Like, if something I could feel regretful or resentful towards someone for anything, I've come to realize that no matter what the situation was, I turn it into a different kind of view. Like, I go to the positive. So if someone if someone like
Guys, help yourself to the food.
says something to you and that may not be very nice, like, you could say, well, maybe it shows something about this person, or maybe they're going through something. But the biggest thing for me is if I feel like I'm not, if I feel resentful for
Towards someone?
if I feel resentful to someone about something they're doing or not doing, like, for me, it's all repressed emotions. So when I feel resentful, I know it's because of my own emotions that I'm not actually looking at and not actually taking into mind. And then when I find out about the feelings that I have, I realize that there's a reason that I'm feeling this. And in reference to that, like, I always I'll learn how to better the relationships that I have because I can understand what I need to work on myself.
Yeah.
You know, in terms of repressed emotions, right? How you know, like trauma or traumatic events in our life shape forms like a neural pathway in our brain, like that.
Yeah.
Solidifies over time when you know you keep remembering or experiencing those things. So maybe like literally through our life, through everything that we go through, we kind of like structure our brain to, and that kind of in a way prevents us from getting stuff done, or like that becomes our own enemy.
Yeah.
How we have kind of formed our brain through these social, personal, I don't know, these cultural, connections, events that have happened through our lives.
They kind of like build like a roadblock.
Yeah, like you're saying, like
You want more?
you set the stage for something. I forgot. It's just boy.
Terrence McKenna quote?
Yeah, I actually I can't remember, to be honest.
Yeah.
What are you
Like it's like how we need to set the stage for whatever is about to take place on that stage.
So it's like kind
Happen.
of like an important lesson that you.
Our mindset?
For everything in our life, like how we need to like create a pathway, like you know, for us to succeed in life.
Well, the first thing that, I don't know if this is, you were looking for a specific term that describes that, like how people set something up, or what that is that people set up.
Sure.
Is that what you're talking about just now?
So you're like saying like your events, your past events sets you up for something bigger, kind of deal, right?
Yeah, like how, like the things, how we have experienced different events in life.
Yeah.
It forms like, okay, every time you have a trauma or like anything good happens, right? It leaves an imprint in your brain.
Yeah.
And when you repeat, when you go through those events and memories and like experiences again and again, it solidifies those neural pathways in your brain, right? And it kind of like changes the way you think and the way you look at the world. So what I'm saying is like that could, in a way, like prevent us from achieving something, and that could be our own, you know, our worst enemy.
Oh,
Like
I
how,
see.
How we have structured our brain. In a way.
Yeah.
Oh, so you're saying like your trauma could prevent you from experiencing good things? Is that what you're saying?
Based on like a program that we've sort of created with our own mind.
Yeah, basically, like, because the way you look at your the way we perceive reality is like through, you know,
The senses.
yeah, like you know, it's like
It's computer.
Yeah,
Like the
computer.
lens of our memories and
21.
experiences. Yeah, think of it as computer really helps.
CPU 5000.
So
Right, go ahead, yeah.
what I was saying actually is aligned with what you're saying. I guess I didn't word it very well. So when you're saying that, you know, these experiences that we go through, they set up how we're going to react or respond to future situations or feelings that we experience. And so what I first thought of when you said that, just earlier, was mindset. So about specifically mindset, there's two kinds of mindsets and then two kinds of social, psychological personality behaviors. The two mindsets that have been studied widely are called growth mindset and fixed mindset.
Oh yeah.
So growth mindset, a lot of people, it's something that has a lot to do with your upbringing, your socialization, and also your own experiences and how you reacted, responded to them. So growth mindset, for example, if you didn't get the mark you wanted on an exam, a growth mindset person with a growth mindset would say, I didn't study hard enough, I should have spent an extra week studying. A person with a fixed mindset, on the other hand, would say, oh, I suck at math, or I'm bad at this, or I'll never get this, I won't
Or I'm a
understand that.
failure.
I'm a failure,
Yeah.
I'm going nowhere with this. And so when trauma happens to people, it could be the exact same or very similar traumatic situation, but if it happens to somebody with a fixed mindset, they will then, their self-worth, you know, they deserve that. They had it coming. They put themselves in that situation, or, oh, why do bad things always happen to me? And you see this all the time with people. People will either respond like, oh, life's so unfair. All these bad things keep happening to me. Or, the other hand, someone with a growth mindset. I like to think of myself as having a growth mindset who has been through my fair share of traumatic experiences, and it has actually increased my self-worth and respect and self-love because I know that it's not because you know, oh, this happened to me because I'm a bad person, or this happened to me because it was, you know, like life's not fair and this is now I can't do anything about it, this is the end of the world. No, I take things that happen as like a blessing in disguise, and like Serendipitous was saying earlier, that you can take things and look at it from another angle. So something that you might have thought was like the worst, like, oh, the most heartbreaking, tragic, you know, thing to happen to you could actually be like the biggest blessing in disguise, and you're just like, wow, like everything is so different when you know, go from a growth mindset to a fixed mindset. But it's not something that you can teach somebody. It's something that you literally have to rewire yourself. You have to, you know, for example, when you catch yourself thinking in one mindset, you can't just keep thinking that, because it's easy to just think, oh, well, this and that. You literally, it's like working out. It's uncomfortable to train yourself to think on the other kind of mindset. But when you do, it's just magical.
That process of rewiring.
Yeah.
That's key.
Yeah, that's really cool, because it's like something happened. Like obviously sometimes we need to give ourselves space and time to process the whole situation to get a better perspective, right? But I think it's like after you've processed it, can you look at the event and be like, okay, like can you see objectively rather than reacting from it, like from like taking it personally, right? Like rather than seeing it like, okay, how is this actually working for me? How is this causing me to grow? What is the lesson in this experience, you know? And if we can be like really honest with ourselves and even just take some of the good things out of it, then it's when we look back at that event, we'll be like, okay, you know what, that was a good time. Even though it was negative, it was good because we associate with those positive memories rather than negative ones, right?
So what you're saying is that we need to witness.
What's that?
We need to witness.
We need to witness certain things.
Yeah, I guess so. Yeah, and experience life is gonna teach us not like exactly what we want, but what we need. Exactly like Brendan said, because like
the Rolling Stones said.
Yeah, yeah, exactly, man. Because not everything is what it is until we actually understand it, right? So
Yeah.
8:45.
I think it's 8. What time is it?
8:45.
Sweet. Guys, if you're listening in, Jeremy, if you're listening to this,
We love you.
Love you,
I
Jeremy.
love you.
I was just going to say, guys, drop a 777 in the chat if the audio is decent. I know it's not going to be perfect, but one thing...
And if you love us back, drop an 8.
Orion's waving, by the way. So we can show you video, but it would drop out the feed. What I was going to say is, like, a lot of what this stuff for me really comes back to is, like, the idea of taking, like, full responsibility for your entire being.
yes,
You know, like, full responsibility for your reactions, full responsibility for your responses. And I think like that in itself is like a big part of the paradigm shift, is being able to like notice when you do quote unquote react versus respond, because like reacting is kind of like the old programming coming to the surface, whereas like a response is like using something powerful like the breath to sort of like process things before we like jump into some sort of reactive mindset. But yeah, like something that I think Bianca or Serendipitous was saying earlier. We all have superhero names, by the way. Captain Portal speaking. But what I was going to say is that you know, when you sort of like begin to step back to this higher perspective, you begin to see that like every time that you do have like some sort of response or feeling towards someone, like that is like fully something that like you are holding on to and must take accountability for, such as like if someone does something and it pisses you off, that's like reflecting something inside of you that maybe you aren't fully comfortable with. Now I'm not saying it's always like black and white, because it's very gray as life is itself, but yeah, like it's just it's important to be able to recognize that like whenever certain events or people in your life begin to like trigger you, so to speak, like that is the universe helping you like see sometimes like hidden aspects of yourself. And then oftentimes we don't take accountability for that. We're just like, oh, like that person's like a stuck up like chauvinistic jerk or something like that. But meanwhile, like there's like a part of ourselves that is like being brought to the surface through our interaction with them. So it's the idea that everything becomes a teacher. Even the people who piss you off become a teacher, because how much are you going to let them piss you off? You know, like it's not to say you don't care, but at the same time, like it's the simple idea. You know, people will use this quote unquote excuse to say like, oh, that person made me angry, or that person made me sad.
Yeah.
The conscious person like doesn't use language like that, because no one makes you something. You know, like you may be in a reactive environment that provokes that sort of response, but it's still you and stuff. So to just say like, oh, like that person made me sad is like giving away your power in a lot of way. Like your happiness is a self-generating toroidal, you know, regenerative vortex. So like bring that back into yourself.
You can admit.
Bianca, or maybe we can let Orion go first.
Yep.
Orion, go ahead.
When I
Talk nice and loud, Orion.
Yeah.
Just so that people can hear you.
Like, when I put my Diego Kryptonite as a shadow, it turns green. It's green.
And what does green mean?
I don't know, but it's made of something. But it turns green. It's not like a real black shadow.
It's a green shadow?
Yeah.
Wow.
Oh. You know, green is what does mommy say, if you see green light or green shadow, what is that?
It's like a green light.
It's like
Green
your,
shadow light.
like your heart
A
chakra.
green shadow light. Wow.
That's your heart chakra.
Very
Where is that
cool.
from? Where did you see that? Your
It's a Jaeger. It was a Jaeger
Lego.
set.
of kryptonite?
A Jaeger set of Batman versus Superman.
Isn't that amazing though? He's talking about kryptonite
Yeah.
showing green light, and kryptonite is supposed to be what makes people like, you know, what
Vulnerable.
weakness, vulnerable.
Yeah.
Yeah, and how amazing is that symbolism?
Your
that
heart opens when you're
kryptonite.
vulnerable.
Yeah, your
Yeah,
heart. Oh, yeah.
yeah,
you-
vulnerability
kryptonite,
is just-
Kryptonite has instead of a black shadow, he's saying this thing that he's talking about, creating
Yeah.
a green light,
That's-
like a.
I'll just say this real quick because I only just like by happenstance read about this for whatever reason. I was on the internet. Apparently, in the new Superman, like they're still writing Superman. In the new Superman, he actually lost his powers, and he had to like expose himself to kryptonite in order to like get rid of like it was almost like there was like a layer of crust that like went over his skin, so he had to expose himself to kryptonite to get rid of that layer so that he could receive the power from the sun.
To absorb
So
it
like
again.
it was like he had a husk on him and he didn't realize it. So like yeah, literally.
Like the husk on your pineal.
Yeah, or it's like a chrysalis too, you know. So again, yeah, I just think it's really cool that like Superman had to expose himself to kryptonite in order to regain his powers in the recent Superman. Orion, go ahead.
Yeah, like when I see movies that the Joker gets put kryptonite right here, and he's like falling in the sky down.
Wow, thank you, Orion.
That's amazing.
Okay, serendipitous stuff.
So just going back to the react versus response. So I thought it was interesting because I kind of thought of it as like a react is like our innate way of acting. So like more, not animalistic, but the way that like just what like our first response. That's what it is. Our first response is our reaction. But then a general response would be, in order for a response to happen, we have to go through a process. So we have to take in the information, we have to then process the information, and then we come out with a response.
Right.
And that's kind of the difference. So I think when people are in the healing process, they tend to react a lot because they have so much on their mind and so much in their spirit that they're dealing with at the time that they just kind of react. And then the responses come after, thinking about what did I say, what did I should have said, or whatnot. And I think as we begin to heal, our responses instead of reactions come out.
Yeah, definitely. Does anybody else have their hand up? Right? Yeah.
Something just came up for me when you were speaking, like the power of language, like just like being very mindful of what you say, like something that I've been noticing is like the shoulds and the coulds, right? And that's something that you brought up earlier with the shoulds, like I think those are the, when you're talking about like the obligations, that people impose on you, those are like the shoulds, right? And there's this really awesome mythological story with oh my god, Friedrich Nietzsche, and it's kind of like Superman or something, but it's like a German version of Superman. And like there's like this dragon, it's called Thou Shalt dragon, right? And there's a point in everybody's life, like in stages where we become a camel. So we have all these burdens of society, of life, of friends, family that are placed on you, right? But as you evolve in consciousness, the pieces of the baggage starts coming off of you more and more. And as soon as when you unburden that baggage, you become a lion, right? So now you're a lion, now you're free, you can do whatever you want, you can say whatever you want, you can do whatever you want, you're free to do whatever, you're a free person. But the thing is, there's still this dragon that exists, and it's called Thou Shalt, and this is the one that puts expectations on the camels, right? And it's the lion's job to slay you through the dragon and kill him in order to transform. And when he does kill the dragon, he actually ends up becoming a child, innocent, like. And then the process repeats itself. So it's like this like really cool process of like going from like these expectations to becoming courageous, to becoming innocent. And I think it always like, and each time like we layer, like it's like a circle, we keep going through that over and over and over again so we can become more courageous, more pure, more courageous, kind of like a diamond. It's like we're this piece of coal coming onto this planet, and that coal keeps chipping away, and more their light starts to shine through this process. So
Totally. That's awesome. Well, Ryan, go ahead.
When I saw this movie, there was another version of Superman. His name was Bizarro.
Bizarro Superman, yeah.
Yeah. And everybody sees Warner as Superman, but he isn't. It's a copy of him. With that copy way that gets him, and it copied Batman and Green Lantern and Wonder Woman. And
It can copy all of those characters.
yeah, it could copy every single person of the Justice League.
Isn't that interesting? That kind of just reminds me of like, it's like all of us, it's like the alter ego.
The masks we wear.
And the masks we wear that you were saying, and it can affect everybody in the Justice League. Nobody, it's not discriminate against anybody. Everybody experiences that. I guess you have the things that you actually do, and then you have the different masks that you wear where you feel like, oh, I should be acting like this in this situation, or I should be acting like this with these people, and when I'm here I don't do this, and when I'm here I do this. And it's interesting that
Yeah, coming from the mask.
coming from the
He's teaching us. He's like, you're wearing a mask. Ryan, did you have something else to say? And then we'll pass it to Serendipitous.
What else?
Yeah, just one more. Like one time there's a guy named Dot Seed, or you could call him Dot Side.
Dark Side, yeah.
Or
yeah.
Dot Seed.
Dark Seed.
Oh.
Yeah, because it's
So it's
spelled
like-
funny.
That's interesting.
He's a bad guy.
He is.
You can plant dark seeds, and then you can also be part of the dark side. Maybe that's what it could be interpreted as.
But he is evil.
Yeah, he's a bad guy.
He does the same like Superman. He has lasers off his eyes too.
Lasers,
But
yeah.
and he's bigger than Superman.
That's right. That's right. Sweet. Thank you, Ryan. Okay, we're gonna get close to wrapping up soon. Serendipitous, another point, and then let's just go around the circle real quick, and let's just like kind of like share an intention, and like that can really be like about anything.
So it's a quick question to pose. It could become a very long conversation, but let's keep it
Go
short
for it,
maybe.
yeah.
So what do we think that the different masks we wear, like in different situations, what do you think makes us decide to change masks within different situations or around different people?
I like that.
Deep.
That's a great question.
Yeah.
I'll add another question to that question.
It could be
Oh boy.
humility and
When does anybody wear a mask? I feel like there's two
family.
times when you wear a mask.
Usually around family.
Either you want to hide something, or you want to show something. Right?
It's interesting
That's
that
what
it's a family, right? 'Cause
is on the
you
mask.
have masks, but most
Whatever
people
is
have
on that
masks
mask
in their family.
is two reasons. Either to hide something behind the mask, or to show something what's on the mask, or both.
Yeah.
And hiding it, whether you're ashamed of it or whether you think other people will have expectations on you because of it, or whatever.
Or
the
what they
reason.
think, or what
Yeah.
they think of you.
Yeah, what they think of you exactly.
Yeah, I think for my sort of like own thinking about the whole concept of mask, for me, I feel like as you begin to sort of like know more about who you are, masks become less of like I feel like masks in a lot of ways, as we're growing up and we're trying to figure out who we are, become this very sort of like protection mechanism. Like we're trying to fit in, or we're trying to appear a certain way, or we're trying not to get someone angry or being sensitive. I think as you become more of like who you are, which in many ways is like like this like, I feel at our core, all of us as humans are very like generous and compassionate and caring people. I feel that it becomes less about wearing masks and more about wearing hats. And what I mean by that is that, a hat still shows who you are, but sometimes it can tell people what you're involved with.
Yeah.
So it can be the hat that says, like, I'm helping with this, or, like, I'm taking charge of this, or I'm showing up to be a part of that. Like a hat that a director wears, or like a coach wears, or a volunteer wears, or something like that. So for me, the hat concept, I think, is something that I invite us to sort of think about. What are the different hats that we wear? And be like, like, I wear my uncle hat every now and then when I'm babysitting my nephew. I wear, like my son hat when my parents come home. And, I wear my paradigm shift facilitator hat when we come here on Fridays and stuff. But underneath the hat, it's still me. And it's still clear that it's me. It's just realizing that by nature, we are multifaceted already. And I don't think sometimes, we're like in this process of wearing different masks, sometimes we can be like, oh, like I feel like such a fake. But I think that's actually really honest about like who we are as a people when we realize that we're multifaceted by nature, and not to realize that like our identity of ourself kind of fits into one category, but we do kind of shapeshift all the time,
See.
Tomer, right? And we're getting close to wrapping up. Tom, go ahead.
Yeah, real quick. It's kind of like it's like you said, like you wear a mask to kind of hide something, and like it's not like the mask is bad or anything. It's just like knowing why we have the mask and having like a relationship with the mask, and it's kind of cool. One thing that one of my like heroes is Paul Chek, and he's a holistic healthcare practitioner. He talks about like actually like taking paint and like putting it on your face to like embody the like drawing the mask that you're wearing and actually put it on your face and acting out that mask. And actually helps you.
Cool.
Like it's really cool because he did it, and it's like you almost like express that mask. It gives you like permission because like it's like when you do actually put on a mask on like for Halloween or something, you become a different person. Like if you're a ghost, you're gonna be
Or in a play, or if you're in a play.
Yeah, or in a play, like you're gonna be like if you're like a Shakespeare play, like Othello or whatever, or Macbeth, right? You're gonna be playing a certain character, right? So it's kind of cool, and I like how that kind of ties in. But yeah, I'll finish it.
See, there's a very cool thing there. I think duality comes into play there, right? There's the mask and then there's the you. Now, I think the problem starts when you get too associated with the mask, or get too stuck to. Yeah, too comfortable. Too comfortable.
Yeah, comfort.
Right?
Like the movie Mask.
Yeah.
And then it becomes
That's where the knowledge
you can't take it off.
that
If you can't take it off, it's harder to take it off.
Yeah.
Once
The
you
knowledge
become too
of-
comfortable with it on,
If you
right?
have the
leave it on
knowledge
for
that
too
it's a
long.
dual world,
Scott.
I sometimes see it as like the mask is more like armor,
Yes.
that it's more meant to protect us. You know what I mean? So it's like as you were saying, it's harder and harder to take off. Eventually, the armor is fuses to you, hardens, becomes you, right? And that's when it gets hard to separate from that.
exactly. That's where like when we try to like kind of understand the dual nature of like the mask and ourselves.
And living so long with it attached to you and becoming part of you.
Just so foreign.
I
You
think
all have to read, if you, or not all, you don't have to read, but a good book, a suggestion, recommendation on this topic that you might not think at first, but if you look deeper into it, it's like totally aligned with this. It's called Stigma.
Stigma?
Burgess Goffman, and I actually had to write a stigma, like a biography, a whole like for a sociology. It was a deviant course, sociology, like criminology deviance, and it was all about this. We talked about our stigma. Everybody had to choose a stigma, right? And you had to send it as a topic for an email to the professor, and if you got an email back, then you had to change it, but if you didn't, then it was okay, right? And so the paper that you had to do had to talk about your stigma, and there's all these terms from this book, like what we're talking about right now, there's actual terms for all these places, like being on and game, and like certain people, like the name of the people that you can have your mask off, there's terms for that. There's certain places of people that you need your mask on. There's actual terms like in this book for all of it. So we had to write our entire stigma biography using these terms and anecdotes of our life, and I'll put mine on Facebook so you guys can see it.
That's such a good
And so my topic that I sent to, and it was amazing because I had to write this essay the first year because I went back to school after Orion was born. He was born in May and I went back in September, so to finish a few credits. And so it was amazing writing this essay at the time of becoming a new mom, and like one of the only like young moms at Western, or like one of the only people when I was pregnant pregnant, right? And the lifestyle that I live and everything all together, and putting it all out there, you know, like not being scared, what was this professor gonna think? Like I'm telling her everything, right? So pretty much my topic in my email, I put stoner, and then in the subject, or not the subject, the body of the email said not to be confused with somebody who stones people. And that was, I didn't get an email back, so that was, I was approved, right? So that was what my stigma paper was on, and it was amazing to write about that and to be able to really like analyze all of these things that I do subconsciously or whatever, you know what I mean? And yeah, and see that it's really just about like you were saying, it's about protecting yourself as well, right? But when I'm with like my tribe, like you guys, I guess everybody knows.
Can we have him cut up actually?
Yeah.
You want me to?
If you don't mind. Yeah.
Just like.
Yeah, just force.
Everybody's aware of like you know, if you're with like the people that you're the most comfortable with to take your mask off, that they will already know your different masks. Like people who know me will know, like, you know, when I'm a mom and when I'm doing this and when I'm doing that, or like when I'm doing activism stuff, if I'm doing like, you know, business stuff, you know, it's like all the different roles that we have to play, and then just embracing all of it as, you know.
I feel like sometimes we're more comfortable. I feel like we're sometimes more comfortable around strangers too.
Yeah.
Like, I'm very comfortable with my
That's
dad because him and I are like our best friends basically. But I think when it comes to a lot of people within their families, and I think most of us can speak towards this, the better we know someone, the more ashamed we feel if we do something wrong. Or if we may not want them to know about something. Even if we're not ashamed of it, we'll tell a stranger, we'll tell their friends, but we won't tell our family.
Right.
And I think that's very interesting. And I've caught myself doing this myself. Like my mom asked me, where are you going? It was yesterday or something. I'm like, I'm going out with a friend. It was just a friend, like it wasn't a date or anything, it was just a friend, and I just didn't tell her because I didn't want to.
Yeah.
But I think it's interesting that we stop ourselves from doing that just because of who it is. You know, like almost like the ones that we love, we fear that they're going to judge us the most.
Yeah.
You know? Like,
Because we care.
It's true. Well, it's because we care, but I also found that, and this is a realization that I came to, I thought about how when we first meet someone, we are so happy to do whatever we want for them. And they're like, there's no problems. Like when you meet someone, that's that honeymoon stage. The better we know someone, the less excuses we give them.
Yeah.
You know, if you have a best friend, you don't give that person any excuse. If they don't want to hang out, you're on them. You're badgering them about what, like why can't you hang out? Or if it's a parent and they put so much expectation and things on their children, and they don't let them get away with anything. Versus if you meet someone right away or a stranger, you let them get away with whatever you want. You have no like expectations on the person. They can do what they want, and you don't care as much. And there's less judgment, which makes no sense. It's interesting though.
Can I have,
It is,
can I have a
yeah.
piece of that cheesecake?
Yeah,
Toss one
yeah.
of those.
Hold on, let's see if we can resist from eating it until we finish.
Oh,
I resist the dog side.
You're more than
If all
welcome
of
to
us
do
reach
use.
for the
You're gonna shock us if we like.
No, I'm not. But
Oh my
it's
god,
just
this chair! What did you do?
As we're eating, we're like, so I think.
Oh, it's neither there nor there. I don't know. I think it's just totally an interesting thing to like notice like the impulse in us that's just like something there.
Ravaged
and we're just, like
animals,
right
not
there.
just,
But,
like,
like,
jump.
but, like,
Hey, I've
what
been
does it
eyeing
mean
that
to
up
like?
for the last like 2 hours.
She actually changed seats just to stare at the cheesecake.
All right. Okay. Let's wrap it up. And I kind of had the idea of just going around the circle real quick with just like one intention. And that can be a personal intention, it can be a global intention. Brett, you still had something you wanted to read. Is it quick?
Yeah, it's good.
Yeah, do you want to read that now?
Well, we can do.
Read-
yeah, we
read-
can
read
close
that.
our eyes. Everybody can
All right.
close their eyes. I'm gonna
Let
read you
this be like a
something
mini
before we do
meditation
that.
for you. And read it nice and loud.
Okay. Alrighty. The Buddha has taught us to practice looking directly into our seeds of fear instead of trying to cover them up or run away from them. We have the seed of fear. We are afraid of dying, of being abandoned, of getting sick. We try to forget. We stay busy so we can forget. But the fact is that one day we have to die. We have to be sick. We have to let go of everything. So the Buddha urged the monks and nuns to practice recognizing the seed of fear every day. This is the practice of the 5 remembrances, designed to help us recognize fear and practice sitting with it. The first remembrance is, I am of the nature to die. I cannot escape death. You face the truth. You bring the seed of fear up and you face it and embrace it with your mindfulness. This needs courage. By doing this, you reduce the strength of the fear and the seed of fear becomes weaker. The practice helps us to accept old age, sickness, and death as realities, facts that we cannot escape. After we have accepted this, we feel much better. When we are struck by a disease like cancer or AIDS, we revolt. We say, why me? Denial is the first reaction. We don't believe it to be the truth. We deny the truth. Then we go through despair and revolt. We struggle with ourselves for a long time, and finally we accept it. In that moment, we find peace. And when we find peace, we are more relaxed and we have a chance to overcome the sickness. We have to learn to accept the end of this civilization of ours. If we can accept it, we will be more peaceful. We accept our own death. We accept the death of our civilization. We touch the truth of impermanence, and then we have peace. When we have peace, there will be hope again. With this kind of peace, we can make use of the technology that is available to us to save this planet of ours. With fear and despair, we are not going to be able to save our planet, even if we have the technology to do it. It is possible to die peacefully, with love, if we have the insight of interbeing in us and we know how to touch our true nature of no birth and no death. So I'm going to read the 5 remembrances to you now. And this will be, I'm going to do it in the breathing, a mindful breathing practice of the 5 remembrances. Breathing in. I know I am of the nature to grow old. Breathing out. I know I cannot escape old age. Breathing in. I know that I am of the nature to get sick. Breathing out. I know that I cannot escape sickness. Breathing in. I know that I am the nature to die. Breathing out, I know that I cannot escape dying. Breathing in, I know that one day I will have to let go of everything and everyone I cherish. Breathing out, there is no way to bring them along. Breathing in, I know that I take nothing with me except my actions, thoughts, and deeds. Breathing out, only my actions come with me.
Thank you.
Very well done.
There's still like one thumb up float across the screen. Someone's listening. It's probably Jeremy.
Jeremy!
Jeremy, if you're there, say hello.
Yes,
awesome.
living regret free. That's what I see him saying.
Yeah, that was
no
from a while
regrets.
back.
What
No,
did he-
there's
what
no
did he
need to.
Jeremy
That's what I
said,
try to say.
"Congrats on
Nothing is a
living
regret. Everything is
regret-free."
either a lesson.
When we were talking
You know,
about
it's a
that
blessing in disguise, and it's an alternate pathway
What is a
that
regret,
you
right?
get to explore. Right?
That is a great question. What
Otherwise,
is regret?
wouldn't
Our
be
relationship
where
with
you
our
are now.
past.
Exactly.
It's kinda like
You know, when you're talking about
beating
friendships
ourselves
and
up
stuff,
over
like,
mistakes
regret and
that
you
happen.
have whatever
It's like
you
getting
are.
mad at
It's
a
like, I
tree
don't
for
even regret
growing.
the friends that I'm
Oh, you
not-
know what?
that I'm
nature.
not
I actually got mad at
I have
myself
more
for
time
making a
and for
mistake because I
people
knew
who
I
are
was
more
making a mistake.
like
That's why I had.
I think you're allowed to get mad at yourself.
than the people
It's like
who
keeping
maybe
yourself in line
had
sometimes.
I think so, but knowing like that would give so much frustration. Like if you knew you were making a mistake and you made it anyway, like a stupid mistake, you know, it's like that would like.
You know, oh, I don't need this person. I'll forget this person. But
That's
the
a
thing
hard
is,
thing to
everyone
overcome.
walks
Like
into
I had to
your life
forgive
for a
myself for
reason.
that. Like
And you take something with you from
That's
absolutely
a
everyone you
process,
meet.
yeah.
And people, when they
Alright.
spend a lot of time with you,
Okay,
you'll
so-
get parts of them with you.
Yeah.
And so moving on is tough because you're somewhat moving on from a part of you.
How's everyone's
That's
chest
exactly
feel?
people don't want to have any
Tight,
friendship.
open,
Like
my chest and my back are
sensation?
tighter.
That's
Yeah,
not my
mine's
thing,
tight.
right? Like if you're like, oh, I hate my head.
Like, you
Like,
always
for
gotta
me,
like
it's like if
open
I
up the
have
shoulder
love,
blades
like
to open up, like try and like
last
touch your
partner
shoulder blades
that I
together.
was
It
with
opens up
last
the
summer, I
chest.
physical
felt like
exercise. You
I don't think we'll ever like be partners
This is cool
together
exercise.
again, yeah, because of everything. But like
Aloha,
one day,
Ashley.
I don't know.
It's okay. Good catch. Good catch.
One day, I just hope that we
Yeah, it slides
right.
off.
I
If
guess
it's
somehow.
slanted, you can
I
move
mean,
it.
I'm friends with
Alright,
everyone who's ever dated or been with. And,
If you guys are ready, let's kind of just close this off.
All right.
Do you guys just kind of want to let's just go around the circle once and just kind of like a quick intention. So literally just like one intention. So start thinking about it now. So let's see, an intention. My intention is for people to let go of their regrets. Tom.
My intention is to live more authentically for myself and to inspire others to do so as well.
Cool. Orion, do you have an intention? Something that you want to do or you want other people to be able to do?
I don't know.
Maybe do you want people to
What do you want for people in the
be
world?
superheroes?
Yeah.
What do you want?
Yep.
You want everyone to have superpowers?
Yeah.
What else?
To activate their superpowers?
Yeah.
Okay, so you want to say that?
I want everybody to be so have activated superheroes with a superhero costume with powers.
Yes. Totally. For everyone to be activated with superheroes and superhero powers. Cool. Michelle, did you want to?
Sure. My intention would be for people to be able to take more chances and live in the moment and follow what they feel, so to speak. But definitely take more chances and follow whatever paths are opening up in front of you, because life is far too short not to like check out every opportunity and sniff it out by the right one.
I dig it.
So,
Nice. Awesome. Opening to opportunities. Taking chances. Beautiful.
taking chances,
Yeah.
making mistakes, and getting messy. Magic school bus.
Magic school.
Oh, that just reminded me
Miss
of the
Frizzle
song
philosophy.
Taking Chances by Celine Dion. So
Oh,
Cool.
Well, my intention is to manifest more hummus.
To manifest more hummus. There you go. Beautiful.
my intention would be to bring, as actually Tom said, a more authentic part of myself that I think I've lost over the past year a little bit, and I'm slowly gaining it back. And with that, bring happiness to people's lives, knowing that I am who I am, and I'm sharing that with others.
Very cool.
Right.
Right? Do you have an intention?
Our intention is to live intentionally and to
So
and
good.
to
Intentionally live.
intentionally live every day, and you know, not to try to change anybody or myself, just to let everything flow naturally in a liberating, awakening, refreshing kind of way, and to just honor everybody's journey and lead by my own example, I guess, of what I want in my life, not what other people want for me. Because at the end of the day, right, your intention should not be to change anybody else or anything. It should be to be you know, more in line with who your heart feels you want to be. Stronger person, not than anybody else, but just who you were yesterday, or not even stronger, but I guess feel more like water. I want to be like water. My intention is to be fluid. Yeah, nobody wants to be like anything that makes you feel like
You're rigid or
clumpy or rigid. Yeah, is what you need, is not serving you. So when you feel like you can breathe the best, that you need to be mindful of those moments when who you're with, where you are, what you're doing, doesn't matter, but be mindful of the moments where you literally can feel your breath, your spirit, your heart flowing.
Can you feel your spirit?
Yeah.
I am spirit.
Thank you, Bray. Sweet. All right, Scott, wrap it up.
Well, my intention as Captain Third Eyeliner is to forgive others and to forgive myself, with the knowledge that we're all at where we're at, you know, doing the best we can, being the best we can is what we have provided and where we're at on our path. So being patient and mindful with myself and others.
Awesome. Sweet. All right, guys. Well, thank you so much for those who joined us for this adventure, listening to this. Again, this is a test broadcast, and hopefully some of it sounded okay, and I'll go back and check afterwards. But we'll wrap it up, and I think we got just like a couple more things to do, but we'll head out of here. And again, thank you guys for listening. Go to ParadigmShiftCentral.com, check out the Patreon to add your support and help create a paradigm shift community where you are, and bring some intention into your intentions. So,
Cheesecake.
and everyone show some love and just spread some love and say,
Peace, love, and plans.
love you guys. All right, until next time. Much love.
Hummus and
Peace.
coleslaw.